Good morning, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started with lesson 7. Happy Thursday. I know it's been kind of a hectic week, but glad that the weather has passed, and hopefully we don't see that again for a long time. Okay, so today's math objective is I can write, interpret, and explain statements of order for rational numbers in the real world. So we're going to be given real world examples, and we're going to have to order them from least to greatest or greatest to least, whatever they're asking. So that is what we're going to be doing today. Okay. Skip some of this first part. Let's look at exercise 1. It says graph the number 7. Graph the number 7 and its opposite on the number line. Graph the number 5 and its opposite on the number line. Okay, so the number 7 and its opposite, which is negative 7. Then I have 5 and negative 5. So, letter B says, where does 7 lie in relation to 5 on the number line? Well, it is 2 units to the right. Okay, so we would write 7 is 2 units to the right of 5. Okay, sorry for that ugly of 5. Okay, and that is true. Okay, we have 2 units in between 1, 2, those 2 numbers. Now, letter C says, where does the opposite of 7 lie on the number line in relation to the opposite of 5? So the opposite of 7 is negative 7, and the opposite of 5 is negative 5. So it's kind of the same thing, just to the left, okay? So negative 7 is 2 units to the left of negative 5. Okay, and then letter D says, I am thinking of 2 numbers. The first number lies to the right of the second number on the number line. What can you say about the location of their opposites? Okay, so they would be on the opposites side of 0. Okay? Alright, let's look at example 1. It says the record low temperatures for a town in Maine are negative 20 degrees for January and negative 19 degrees for February. Order the numbers from least to greatest. Okay? So if we had a number line and we were reading temperature, okay, we had negative 19 degrees, and then right below we had negative 20 degrees. Which one is colder? Well, negative 20 is going to be colder, okay? It's also farther away from 0, so that makes it the smallest number. So in our answer, we would have negative 20 and then negative 19, okay? Let's move on to exercise 2. It says John's time for running the mile in gym class is 9.2 minutes. Jackie's time is 9.18 minutes. Who ran the mile in less time? Well, if we had a number line, okay, and say I started with 8, 9, and 10, okay? So 9.2 is going to be somewhere, if we divide this into 2s, so I'm going to divide it into 5 equal parts. Okay, 9.2 would be right here. Okay, and 9.18 is a little bit before that. It's going to be about right there. Okay? So, in order from least to greatest, who ran it in less time? Well, Jackie ran it in a faster time. And then we can write 9.18 and then 9.2. Okay? And that's my answer. Let's move on to number 3. Mrs. Rodriguez is a teacher at Westbury Middle School. She gives bonus points on her test for outstanding written answers and deduct points for answers that are not written correctly. She uses rational numbers to represent points. She wrote the following on students' papers. Student A, -2 points. Student B, -2.5 points. Did student A or student B perform worse on the test? So, we're trying to figure out who had the most points deducted, okay? Well, student B had -2.5 deducted. That means that it's farther away from 0. So that's going to be our smallest number, okay? And student B performed the worst. He had more points taken off of his test. Okay? Let's go ahead and move on. Number 4. Now they're giving us fractions. Number 4 says a carp is swimming approximately 8 1/4 feet beneath the water's surface. And a sunfish is swimming approximately 3.5 feet beneath the water surface. Which fish is swimming farther beneath the water surface? So if I have a number line, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And I have 3.5, which is going to be right here, and then 8 1/4 somewhere in there. Okay, this is 8 1/4, and it's going to be negative because it is beneath it, right? Beneath the surface, and -3.5. So the carp is swimming at 8 1/4 feet below sea level. So this is the carp, and then this is going to be the sunfish at 3.5 feet below sea level. Okay, so which fish is swimming farther beneath the water's surface? Well, it's going to be the carp. The carp is swimming farther beneath. And if we wrote this in order from least to greatest, I would write -8 1/4, and then -3 1/2. Okay? And that's just from least to greatest. Alright, guys. Example 2 says Henry, Janin, and Clark are playing a card game. The object of the game is to finish with the most points. The scores at the end of the game are Henry with -7, Janin with 0, and Clark with -5. Who won the game? Who came in last place? Use a number line and model. Explain your answer. Okay, so if I have 0, 5 is going to be somewhere there, and then -7 is going to be somewhere there. Sorry, not -5. I'm going to say +5. This is -5. Okay, so Henry is at -7. Janin is at 0. And Clark is at -5. So from least to greatest, it would go Henry at -7. Clark at -5, and then Janin at 0. That's from least to greatest, okay? Now, who won the game? Janin won the game with 0 points. And who came in last place with the least amount of points? Well, it's going to be Henry with -5. and he got last place. Those are my answers, guys. Easy as that. All we're doing is putting these in order from least to greatest, figuring out what these real world problems are asking us. All right, guys, one more example, and then I'm going to let you loose on the problem set. Okay, it says for each problem, order the rational numbers from least to greatest by reading the problem, then drawing a number line, and finally explain your answer. So, number 5 says Henry, Janet, and Clark are playing another round of the card game. The scores at this time are as follows. Clark, -1, Janet, -2, and Henry, -4. Okay. Who won the game? Who came in last? Well, the farthest away from 0 is -4, so Henry came in last. The closest to 0 is going to be the winner, and it's -1. Clark won. Okay, and then from least to greatest, it would go -4, -2, -1. That's my answer. If we put this on a number line, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, -4. We have -4 there, -2, -1. And that is Henry, Janet, and Clark. All right, number 6 says represent each of the following elevations using a rational number. Then order the numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so Cayuga Lake is 122 meters above sea level, so this is just going to be 122. Mount Marcy is 1,629 meters above sea level, so that's also going to be positive. And then the New York Stock Exchange vault is 15.24 meters below sea level, so this is going to be -15.24. That's obviously going to be my smallest number, so from least to greatest, it's going to be 15.24, then 122, and then 1,629. All right, guys, I hope you feel okay with ordering from least to greatest. You're going to get a problem set that looks like this. It says, in the table below, list each set of rational numbers in order from least to greatest. Then list their opposites. Finally, list the opposites in order from least to greatest. So, you get some numbers. You're going to write these numbers in order from least to greatest. Then you're going to write the opposite of these numbers, and then you're going to order the opposites from least to greatest. And then I'll do the first round with you, okay? So the first run is 1/4 and -1/2. 1/4 and -1/2. So obviously from least to greatest, it's going to be -1/2 and then 1/4. The opposites of this would be -1/4 and 1/2. And then from least to greatest, the opposites would be -1/4 and 1/2. Okay, I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, guys.